Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this video. So I'll be using this. Okay, my name is Kuti, the mother of triplets and one. I'll be using this picture so that you could see how they were. I think at this point they were already 2 months old. So I'll be using this picture so that it can create a that it can show you how they were looking so that you understand whatever I am saying. I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to be telling you how I survived breastfeeding triplet and caring for them. After birth, breast milk wasn't coming. I tried giving them. I kept trying until it was very painful. Like, some mothers will see that it's painful, so they will stop. If you keep giving them, it's going to really, really be helpful to the children. And one thing I usually advise mothers is when you're breastfeeding a child, breastfeed the baby very well, because the breast milk contains 80% of water and 20% of milk. So when you breastfeed, when you come back, wherever you're being and you want to breastfeed, drink water, wash your nipples, and then don't use soap to wash. Just wash your nipple, use a clean towel, clean the nipples, and then breastfeed the baby. Let the baby be on that breast for long, so that the breast, after water had come out, the milk will start coming out, and it will be very helpful. No matter how painful it is, try to breastfeed them very well. And when you are done, when I was done breastfeeding, when I'm done breastfeeding one baby, I pick another baby and breastfeed until I'm done breastfeeding the three of them. I had enough breast milk. That was why I was able to breastfeed them so well. And I usually will breastfeed, like I said in my other video, I'll breastfeed them very well before then I take up another child, and it was easy for them to, as I breastfeed, I hand the baby over to somebody who will be there to help me, top up with the formula. Another thing I did was that you always check their weight. When I was pregnant with them and gave birth to them, one of them was weighing 2.1 kg, another one was weighing 2 kg, while one at birth was weighing 1.9 kg. Remember that the birth in the womb is different from when they come out. So one of the things I did was that I discovered that one of my sons was breathing very fast, and the people who were taking care of, who were helping me to tend to them, became very scared, and they were like, take this boy to the hospital. I wasn't even scared because I've read up on all these things. So that's why it's usually good, watch videos from people who have experienced it, like this video I'm making now, and also read up on things so that you don't panic when these things happen. So when a child breathes very fast like that, it can stop. And if it continues, you can take the child to the hospital. But at the time my son was breathing this fast, it was something I already knew could stop, but they were putting me under pressure. I had to take the boy to the hospital to just satisfy them, which I did. Another thing I'll tell you is that do not take their immunization for granted. From BCG to the Penta to 3 weeks to 6 weeks, take it seriously. I did not joke with their immunization. I know that taking triplets, quadruplet, twins for immunization is not easy. You need to have extra hands helping you. It is not easy, you have to always go out with two people. I was always going out with two people to help me. And shopping for these children wasn't easy because I have to buy 3 bouncers, 3 walkers, 3 seats, car seats, 3 beds, everything. You're buying shoes, clothes, diapers, I buy in cartons, wipes, everything. So you can imagine when one baby is having colic pain. For those of you who don't know colic pain is that air that stays in a baby's womb tummy for, like, when they are born, they begin to cry. Sometimes they are cranky. Sometimes the best thing for you to do is to just put the baby on your tummy. Imagine me doing it for 3 children. When they are colicking, they are crying. I remember one time, I knew very well, I'd read up on colicking, and I knew that colic does not have cure. So when my uncle's wife, because of the way they were crying and being cranky, she went behind me to get grape water for them, and I told her I didn't want them to give them medications that I don't know about, so that, because I'll be the one to take them to the hospital, so that my kids don't begin to have things in their system that will cause problem tomorrow. And then that was sorted. I ensured, they said I should give coconut water. I told them no. Another thing is, please, if you are breastfeeding and using formula, always give your children water, because they are taking milk and it needs to digest. So it's only when you are doing exclusive breastfeeding that you shouldn't give water. Another thing I did that really helped me was that I paid attention to these children. Do not allow your children or give them to caregivers Pay attention to your children so that you know what is wrong with them or what is making them cranky per time. Don't relegate the duties to the caregivers. I paid attention to them, and one of the things I did was I kept them in a different room, in their own room. So I was going there whenever I hear them cry at night. Those people were sleeping with them there. I'll come out from my room, come breastfeed, and go back. As I'm breastfeeding, the person there will be making the formula, so that when I'm done, they will now feed, top up with formula. Another thing is, pay attention to the washing of the bottles. I ensured that, in fact, this period you have problems with a lot of people coming to help you because they will not understand why you are being too meticulous. So they'll want to have issues with you. Try to avoid certain things. Sometimes they talk, I don't respond. Yes, we had some disagreement, but they have to do what I want because they are my children. So ensure their feeding bottles are washed. They wash their feeding bottles very well, the mouth very well, and sterilize it with hot water. If possible, put some salt in the hot water before soaking them in. Discard any milk the children have taken. So I was very proper about it. I will discard any milk they have not finished taking, and please do not force the babies to eat. If they eat a little and they need to breathe, and I wonder how some people feed children, they hold their nose and feed them just to eat. That's not good. It can make the baby to choke, and and that will be the end of the baby. So be careful. Another thing is, when your baby is from that early stage, what I did was I usually will boil hot water, put little salt in the hot water, then wrap a clean mouth towel on my finger, then soak it in that hot water and allow it to cool a little. Then I use it to clean their tongue and clean their gum so that their mouth will not smell. Another thing is that keeping good eye hygiene keeps the doctor away. Ensure that and prevents your children from taking medication at a very early age. You know what that means? Another thing is that when your kids have catarrh or cough, what you do first is, do not start giving them paracetamol or cough drops. No. Start by boiling very hot water, put it in a bowl. You enter into the water together with the child, not like you enter into the hot water. You put it, how they do steaming. You cover yourself with a duvet or a thick towel with the baby, holding the baby's hand so that they don't get hurt. That will help the baby. But if it persists after 2 days, take the baby to the hospital. Keeping and maintaining good hygiene keeps the doctor away. I mentioned that early. It will definitely keep these doctors away. And also remember to clean their cots regularly. Like, when children are born, some parents will tell you that you should use toothpaste and put on their navel. No, don't do that. Use spirit to clean their cord regularly. Change their diapers regularly. Don't just wait until the diaper is over full before you change it. That could cause diaper rash. Some people will think it is the diaper company itself that is causing the rash. No, it's not true. Learn to change the children's diaper on time so that when they pee, you change it. Don't say you don't. So people will wait till a baby carries diaper from morning till night. They say you never pee, and you should be worried if your baby is not peeing. You should be worried if your baby is not even pooing. You should be worried. Another thing is that while you are watching, and as a mother, or when you who is watching this, when you see a mother or a father who has multiple bed, triplets, quadruplets, give them a hug. Don't put them under pressure. They are going through a lot already. Don't put them under pressure. Give them a hug, give them money, send them gifts. Find out how their children are doing. Find out if they have complete set of worker. If you just find out how you can help them, and that is why I decided to build an NGO around this, because they are being neglected. The government don't even care. Another thing is, when going out with the babies, ensure that you fasten them on their car seats. Do not just leave them to the mercy of those who are helping you. Still on hygiene, ensure that everybody trying to attend to your child washes their hands and puts on hand sanitizer, even those who are feeding them. No matter what, let them wear their beep when feeding. Ensure that when they are feeding them, the baby is not wearing a cap, because when they sweat into the cap, it can cause cold on the children. Maintain eye contact with these children. Always smile with them, clap your hands. It will help them. Do not keep your children before the television set. Some people will say, I'm very busy and the TV is teaching my children English. You can allow the TV to be making sound and you can put it on sound, it will be teaching them maybe rhymes, songs, singing cool song for them, but let them not watch, because the pictures there will be flipping, and that can cause a child, disorder. And if you don't keep them, if you play them cool music, it helps them calm and helps their IQ, build their IQ. One other thing I will say is that I have a video on attention disorder. You could check the playlist, you see that video on how to avert attention disorder in children, so you understand why I'm saying don't keep your children before the television set. You do your own part also, because our idea is to bring up children that will not put us to shame, right? When your child is everywhere, the child will become a nuisance to the society, and you won't like that. Please ensure you deliberately follow up on the immunization card to know the date you're supposed to take them for immunization and what immunization, and ensure they take all their immunization so that they don't have issues down the road. Always cover them, the children. I usually cover my triplet very well. I cover them very well. Some people say, and they need air. Don't mind all those people. Cover your children very well. It is very important. And when they run temperature, please take them to the hospital. It's very, very important. And after 6 months, ensure that you begin to introduce soft swallow for them, and make good okra soup for them. You can blend your fish before putting, but ensure that you remove all the bones. Start introducing them to soft porridge beans, put mashed potato, cereals. And please, until your baby is up to 1 year, don't give them ogbono soup. That's the bush mango. Don't give them. And another thing is, I talked about the cleaning of the cord. Please use your cotton wool that is very, very smooth with the spirit. That really helped me. Another thing is, when the weather is cold, one thing I do is that I pour silver bed. There's this thing that looks like spirit. Is people use it to steam themselves. Adults use it to steam themselves. Whenever there's cold, I pour it around the children's room. I sprinkle it around the children's room to ensure that they could inhale it from a distance, not keeping it very close to them. And please change their bed sheets and flannel regularly. Some people can use one bed sheet for children for weeks. Some flannel they will not wash. Please keep your children's things very clean. Hygiene matters. Please do not use fan for the babies. Don't use fan for your child or babies or the triplet or quadruplet. I use AC, and that AC, in fact, before I put on AC, the weather must really, really be hot. But before you put on the AC, cover them very well. But remember that fan causes cough, catarrh. Cover your babies very well. After birthing your babies, always use rub or Vaseline on the front head. You see that there's always usually a deep hole there that is very soft. Use your Vaseline or rub, just apply on that soft spot. Okay, when my babies could stand, at some point I had to start breastfeeding them while they were standing, because at that time they started seeking attention at the same time. So what will happen is that, and most times they wake each other. This person will sleep, and before you know it, he has woken up the other person. So I now had to start breastfeeding them. Two people will be standing, I will be breastfeeding at the same time. Learn to play them soft music. I did this a lot. I played them a lot of soft music, and most times, as small as they are, just read books to them, or you read the Bible to them, and it really helps them. When you are sitting with them, maybe on their bouncer, because sometimes when they are crying, you see me put them just like you're seeing in this picture. Then I'll stand in front of them and be on. There's a music in these toys you are seeing hanging on their bouncer. There's music, so I'll on it and it will play for them. They will be calm. That's after I've given them food, I've changed their diaper, I've cleaned their cord, and seen that I've done everything. So now it's the time to either read a book or start dancing or playing music for them. And that thing is, take pictures to create memories for them. Take a lot of pictures, celebrate milestones. Do not take any milestone for granted. I am making this video because as at the time I gave birth to these children, I wasn't a YouTuber. I wish I started YouTube then. I kept procrastinating. I kept, by now you'd have seen me physically. That's why I'm using pictures to make you understand how these children were. In this picture, they were already 2 months. In this picture, they were exactly 2 months. You could see they were looking very healthy because God was helping us to do the right thing at the right time. And I hope that if you have watched this video to this point, to give this video a thumb up, like the video, share the video. Somebody might be encouraged who is going through a tough time trying to bring up her own children. It is not an easy road, like I would say, but God gives us the grace before the gift. Thank you so much for watching up to this point, and see you in our next one. Do not forget to like this video. Bye guys, see you next time.